Okay, so we are here for our last session in this block that we've been having such great conversations. And it is a delight to welcome our online colleagues. So I'm welcoming, I know this is a group who's been working with Dr. Margot Parks, who is at UNBC, who holds a Canada Research Chair in Climate Change and Ecology. And maybe, Angela, you can tell us the exact, Canada Research Chair in Health, Ecosystems and Society. Great title. And presenting for us is Angel Kennedy, who is a research manager for the Researching for Eco-Social and Equitable Transformation Lab. And Angel is a PhD candidate at Simon Fraser University. She's a researcher for the Environment and Community Health Observatory Network, and herself is an early career coordinator for EcoHealth International. So the warmest of welcomes to your virtual presence here, and please go ahead.
Thank you. And thank you all for being here. I'm here with Margot Parks and Jonathan Doyon and Tannis Reynolds. And we're so happy to be here with you all and to share with you reflections from 4 events that we've been running together over a couple years. And we've called this work Coming Together as a Whole, Lessons from Connecting Across Sectors, Cultures, and Contexts to Elevate Efforts for Planetary Health. So I'm going to play a little video and then we'll have some discussion.
Howdy, my name is Tannis Reynolds from the Stellat'en First Nation. We're coming together to acknowledge health, equity, climate, water, and land. And I'd like you to think about what you're thankful for while I sing this song. I'd like to hand this over to my colleagues to present the rest of the presentation.
Thank you. I'm Diana. I'm the lead for climate change and health at Northern Hall. The living systems we depend upon are what sustains us on our planet Earth, particularly as we face the climate crisis. Health-related work necessitates cross-disciplinary collaboration. For this series of events, Indigenous leaders co-hosted conversations that cross several sectors, including land, water, community, and health, and foregrounded Indigenous perspectives on health and wellness. These gatherings held important insights regarding the value of grounding health in intersectoral, integrative, and intergenerational conversations for health.
Hi everyone, my name is Jonathan and I'm a master's student attending the University of Northern British Columbia. I've had the privilege of witnessing intergenerational engagements during the Cowichan and Stellat'en gatherings. Youth care deeply about the lands and waters and have shown great interest in tackling complex issues about climate, society, and health. As reciprocal knowledge holders, youth are transforming how communities are striving for sustainable futures, a process that has been facilitated through the use of integrative tools such as the Nechako watershed portal. The portal functions as an online storage system to spatially map relevant information about the Nechako, and it's one of the ways in which we hope to continue bringing together diverse voices in a spirit of reciprocity and collaboration.
Adi kia ora, greetings. My name is Margot, and I'm joining you from Clayton Territory in northern BC, Canada. The Dacoth word Claytley refers to the confluence of 2 rivers, aligning closely with our theme of watersheds and the value of coming together as a whole. Each of the gatherings in the watershed have come together to connect us to real places, lands, waters, and have underscored the importance of elevating Indigenous voices and foregrounding care, connection, and love that is part of an integrative approach to health and well-being. This can happen in watersheds and at the global and planetary scale, such as our EcoHealth Global Summits. Whatever scale, every time we do this work together, we deepen our appreciation for the values and approaches at the center of the slide and coming together as a whole.
Hi, everyone. My name is Angel. I'm a PhD student at Simon Fraser University. While this integrative, intersectoral, and intergenerational work is challenging to do, it not only advances the ways of working that will help us address the nested social ecological issues we're facing, but also builds our networks and relational support for continuing to work in this space. We've found that trainees working together are able to support each other while also increasing people's willingness to participate in events that are early career-led. For example, the 2 global Earth Hug events listed here were early career designed and led and brought people together globally in 24 hours of conversations that centered love, justice, peace, and equity, and situated our global and shared experiences within local ecosystems. We believe our communities and networks make this work possible and would love to connect if you want to talk about this topic further. Thank you.
So thank you so much. I hope everybody can still hear us. We're so appreciative of this opportunity to share our work briefly. Thanks to Barb and everybody who has brought this important event together. We'll be taking a few more minutes to share more about these collective efforts to come together as a whole. In particular, we want to draw your attention to the ribbon script that was at the bottom of the video. The term coming together as a whole stems from an ancient Cowichan Tribes principle that Chief Lydia Whitsam of the Cowichan Tribes brought forward at our first co-hosted gathering, Natsamat Kwayasthaka, meaning we come together as a whole to work together to be stronger as partners for the watershed. Part of an obvious aspect of this work is that you can't do it alone. This is teamwork, benefiting from many perspectives, organisations, generations, including those here, our colleague Diana Kutzner, who's not able to join us today, but you heard from, and how we continue to learn together to deepen how we can do this important work. So part of learning together is, part of working together is learning together. We're going to lean into some questions for each other before we open up to your questions. First to Tannis. I've mentioned Natsamat Kwayasthaka from the Cowichan Tribes. When we came to your community, Stellat'en First Nation, what was your approach to honouring language and the connections across climate, lands, water and health?
Well, keeping with the idea of coming together as a whole, I brought the idea to my mom, the concept of coming together as a whole, and she translated it in our language to Zanese Du Dith, which means everybody and everything pulling together. So I was really happy that our team insisted on working with our community and talked to the leaders of our community and invited everyone who they asked to be there and present with us. I got some lists from my mom on plants and animals, and one of our colleagues, Melissa Bates, made name tags with the language in names and animals with plants. And it was just a great time to see everyone come together and embrace our language and culture in our community. And as you can see from the photo behind, our activities were stationed outdoors for part of the day. This is one of the utmost beautiful areas in our traditional territory, and it was so amazing to be in this area learning about how we can take action and work towards a better future.
Thanks, Tannis. And amidst the 90 or so people we gathered in your territory were inspiring youth. And I'm going to now hand over to Jonathan to ask you, how did that presence of youth inform your understanding of these issues, but especially your own master's work as it is unfolding?
Thank you very much, Margot. So the first thing that I just wanted to briefly share with everyone is that for the Stellat'en gathering, I had the honor of actually meeting with youth before we actually attended this event. We wanted to get their insights and their perspectives, their interests, ideas, to actually plan this event so that it could be attuned to them, right? And something that stood out when I was meeting with them during the planning phase was that youth shared this incredible excitement and joy of actually being able to shape an event. And something that stuck out was how they shared how meaningful it was for them to be treated like people whose voices genuinely mattered in their communities. And the second thing that I also wanted to briefly mention was that while attending them, there was this incredible power of the ways in which youth were actually able to impact the adults. And it was such a special thing to see. And amidst these complex challenges that we're seeing when it comes to climate change, when it comes to the pandemic that we just experienced, there's this beautiful calling to actually bring all these diverse voices together, which includes youth as well, right? So it's been an absolute privilege, and I'll keep it short like that for now, just to leave room for more questions. But thank you for the question, Margot.
And those inspirations, Jonathan, have affected your work as an early career scholar and how you're designing your master's work. And so too, as we scale up from these events in the Cowichan watershed, the Stellat'en watershed, the Nechako watershed where I live, we can also scale up to the planet. And I wonder, Angel, if you could just offer a final few thoughts about connecting the local to the global and the Earth Hug conversations we had.
Yes, thanks, Margot. So the global Earth Hugs or summits really animated the importance of rooting our work within these local contexts that we live and where these events really unfold for community, and the value of sharing our work across these settings to, come together collaboratively and be able to support each other. And while each of the regional sessions that happened around the world really focused on topics of working together for a healthy, just, and sustainable future, they really took their own lenses and grounded it in their own place-based initiatives. And organically, a central theme actually emerged where the different regions were reflecting on why they're doing what they're doing, for whom and for what, and really grounding it in what's driving them. And so we had these 24 hours of conversations were really steeped in working together. And we saw that exploring what it means to live in reciprocity with the planet and all living systems now and for generations to come can really play a crucial role in advancing justice-oriented and intergenerational planetary health.
So that's our reflections. We clearly have a lot to share, but we wanted to give this glimpse of the ways in which the local can impact the global and beyond. And so we're going to hand back to Sheryl as our moderator, if there's hopefully a couple of minutes for questions. And we may pop up our slide again because the image there has got some QR codes that people might be interested in learning more.
That's great. So for starters, let's join our group, thanking them for our speakers, thanking our speakers. It is very inspiring to hear how you've worked locally and globally, making those connections. Do you want to have, I'm just going to turn to the room here while we change that slide, questions for our online colleagues.
I actually really liked on your background, you have like this visual with the whale and the planet, and I thought it was really striking. I don't know if you could comment on that design. I thought it was really nice.
Over to you, Angel.
Thank you. For each of the global Earth Hugs that we run, we make some backgrounds that we can share with people. And something that really came through after our first Earth Hug was the importance of really touching on bringing together these integrative approaches to health. And that includes animals on land and water and air, humans, ecosystems. And so we really just wanted to be intentional about bringing like a holistic view of the planet and wellness in our second. So this was the background actually for our event.
Lovely. We're nodding and smiling in the room. Any other questions or comments? Barb has got one, and then I'll follow up.
Margot, this is Barb.
Hi, Barb.
What a fantastic presentation. It just fills my heart. I just want you to keep going. So my and I can ask other things later because we see each other. But what I wanted to say in this movement that you have here, what's the second? When's the third? And, like, this is a movement that needs to continue with the youth and what you've brought together and the integrative, all these pieces of planetary health. Can you comment on that?
Yeah, I'll speak here. And I'll also hand over to our other colleagues about this. One of the things I really want to lean into for just a moment is that in the broader movement that we're part of, that is from the global to the local and back up again, there is this whole big soup of terms that people can get a bit confused by. They can hear planetary health and One Health and eco health, which is where I worked quite a lot. They can also be recognizing Indigenous knowledges with these are knowledges that Indigenous people have held for millennia. And so people feel like they have to choose one. And one of the things I'm hoping that Angel might be able to speak to, and then perhaps we hear from Tannis and Jonathan as we wrap up, is that you don't have to choose. What you have to find is a way to fuel the work that is going to be integrative and that can come together as a whole and stop breaking those things into silos. And we heard earlier from one of the plenary speakers about that idea of benefit multipliers, that we're looking for work that can achieve multiple objectives by having that integrity of connecting with the living systems we depend on and our collective power. So I wonder if we go to Angel, and then I'm sure we'll have to wrap up shortly here, but it'll be helpful to know if we the timing. But I'll hand over to Angel because I know she's been, as an early career researcher, exemplifying the commitment for care and connection beyond choosing a term. Over to you, Angel.
Oh, thank you, Margot. So I can speak for the Earth Hugs. The group who's running it, we're all early career colleagues from around the world, and some have training in One Health, some in eco health, some in planetary health, some in biology, health, quite a interdisciplinary group. And something that we've really tried to bring through these events is just centering in like the shared values that are at the center of this image, actually, and less so about what field we're in, but rather if we all come together and bring our insights, we can be stronger. We can advance this work without staying in these siloed ways that kind of funnel money one way or another, like get the point kind of gets lost. And so we'll stop there. So there's time for Tannis and Jonathan.
I will just add, Barb, Angel is always happy to hear from folks. We're planning to run these Earth Hugs once a year, so that can be from anybody anywhere around the world. But I will just hand it over to Tannis if you have anything further to say about the ways in which this work is also elevating, fueling, and creating momentum by connecting with Indigenous leadership as we wrap up here.
It was, well, first of all, I'd like to just thank Angel and Margot for kind of leading this action. And I think Angel has been amazing at keeping us all together, working on things. And it was really great to see in the Earth Hug people from different provinces even learning about colonization and decolonization, and in different countries around the world, explaining their perspectives. And I just learning about languages, and we're learning about coming together as a whole, about climate, but we're learning about so many other things too at the same time, and it's been really great. Thank you.
So our emails are there. I'm sure we probably need to wrap up. I'll hand back to the moderator, and with appreciation of the work that everybody's doing and your own contributions to coming together as a whole in ways that can work towards our common goals. Thanks very much.
Thank you.